Healing Connection. We are here to support, educate, and advocate, a supporting light for a better mental health. Discriminations hurt, compassion heals. Here are 7 real-life stories of discriminations. Real-life story number 1. This is one of my experiences on discrimination, which is not too long ago. I was in a restaurant in Canada. I went to a local restaurant when I was trying to order food. The owner came up to me with an unpleasant look and said that the restaurant is closed. I was really surprised because I saw everyone was still sitting and enjoying themselves. It was too early for a restaurant to be closed. It was around 6:30 or 7 p.m. I asked one of my local friends that, why would a restaurant close so early? He said the restaurant wasn't closed. Soon I realized that the owner did not want to serve me because of my brown skin. Real life story number 2. My personal experience of how discrimination hurt is quite short, but will always be an experience that might take a long time to forget. One day I walked into a store in my area for groceries. I needed help. I actually noticed a staff who tried to avoid my eye contact and did not try to ask for what I was looking for in the store. But I saw how they welcomed other customers who came in after me with a very good customer service. By figuring out I was ignored and treated differently by him, I felt emotionally down while I walked out of the store. Real life story number 3. When I settled in Canada about a few years ago, I started working in a factory where all my coworkers were white and Filipinos. I was the only Black person from East Africa. I have worked as a sanitation technician, cleaner, janitor. Once, while I was on duty, I was walking through the hallway of the facility to check if the floor was cleaned or not. At the moment, one of the coworkers came through the hallway and said to me, "You are not clean." I felt insulted by her comment. Real life story number 4. Growing up in Germany, I had a few experiences with discriminations. One of the experiences happened in high school where I was very much affected by one of the teachers. Teachers are supposed to be someone who can look up to and go to whenever students have questions or need help. What if my teachers were showing lots of favoritism in class? I was literally being skipped when the teacher was asking many students during group activities. Even her face expressions and the way she looked at me would bring me shivers, and I sensed it already, and I was being discriminated by her. Another experience I had was on my first workplace, where I got attacked by one of my coworkers, but happily that workplace didn't tolerate racism, so she got fired immediately. I don't intend to say that Germany is a very racist country, but the place where I grew up, I was one of the very few foreigners here. I would even say the ratio would be 1,000 to 1. Moving to Canada made actually a big difference as Canada is mostly multicultural, especially Toronto. Here, I never felt someone acting racist to me, but still hear about it all over the news. It's a very nice experience to be under a multicultural world and feel others and their cultures. This world is very colorful, and we should enjoy every color in it. Real life story number 5. This is one of my experiences of feeling the hurt of discrimination. It was during my early pregnancy while morning sickness came at the random time. I was on a bus to work. Someone next to my seat opened up his snack with quite a strong garlic smell, and that smell made me vomit right away. Since I didn't have a bag prepared in case of my morning sickness, I threw up on the floor of the bus. After the bus driver noticed the throw up, he stopped the bus and told all the passengers to be off the bus. One Caucasian male stared at me and said, "All you immigrants need to go back to your country." I was a bit disturbed by what he said. Real life story number 6. The foremost discrimination that I experienced were at an agency where I volunteered. I was the only person of color at this agency among others who were mostly Indians, including the supervisor and other volunteers. Whenever the supervisor was giving out tasks, she would either assign me very hectic tasks or not give me any at all, and at the end of the day, he would complain that I did not want to work. Also, when it would come to lunchtime, others would be asked what they would like to eat. I was always left out. Real life story number 7. It was a few years back. I was in school. Me and one of my classmates were very competitive with the activity that was given to us in class. We kept going back and forth on who did it better so we can know who won. Eventually, we went to our teacher and we showed her our work. She checked both of our work and I got the highest grade. Afterwards, he was really angry, but it was all just fun at first. At last, he said something to me which really shocked my teacher because she was in front of us the whole time. He said, "Well, at least I was born here." I was surprised but didn't know how to feel then, especially since it was my very first experience. Thankfully, my teacher was there, so she ended up handling it. Discriminations hurt, compassion heals. Here are 7 real-life stories of compassion. Real life story number 1. When the supermarket clerk tallied up my groceries, it was $12 over what I had on me. I began to remove items from the bag when another shopper handed me a $20 bill. "Please don't put yourself out," I told him. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "My mother is in the hospital with cancer. I visit her every day and bring her flowers. I went this morning and she got mad at me for spending my money on more flowers. She demanded that I do something else with that money. So here, please accept this. It is my mother's flowers." Leslie Wagner. Real life story number 2. I saw a dress in a consignment shop that I knew my grandmother would love, but money was tight, so I asked the store owner if she could hold it for me. "May I buy the dress for you?" asked another customer. "Thank you, but I can't accept such a gracious gift," I said. Then she told me why it was so important for her to help me. She'd been homeless for 3 years, she said, and had it not been for the kindness of strangers, she would not have been able to survive. "I'm no longer homeless, and my situation has improved," she said. I promised myself that I would repay the kindness so many had shown me. She paid for the dress. And the only payment she would accept in return was a heartfelt hug. Stacy Lee. Real life story number 3. When I was 7, my family drove to the Grand Canyon. At one point, my favorite blanket flew out of the window and was gone. I was devastated. Soon after, we stopped at a service station mopping. I found a bench and was about to eat my sandwich when a biker gang pulled into the station. "Is that your blue Ford?" A huge, frightening man with a gray and a black beard asked. Mom nodded resignedly. The man pulled up my blanket from his jacket pocket and handed it to her. He then returned to his motorcycle. I repaid him the only way I knew how. I ran up to him and gave him my sandwich. Selina Hamilton. Real life story number 4. Leaving a store, I returned to my car only to find that I had locked my keys and my cell phone inside. A teenager riding his bike saw me kick a tire and say a few choice words. "What's wrong?" he asked. I explained my situation. "But even if I could call my wife," I said, "she can't bring me her car key since this is our only car." He handed me his cell phone. "Call your wife and tell her I'm coming to get her key. That's 7 miles round trip. Don't worry about it." An hour later, he returned with my key. I offered him some money, but he refused. "Let's just say I needed the exercise," he said. Then, like a cowboy in the movies, he rode off in the sunset. Clarence Steffens. Real life story number 5. Driving home in a blizzard, I noticed a vehicle trailing close behind me. Suddenly, my tire blew. I blew off the road and so did the other car. A man jumped out from behind the wheel and without hesitation changed the flat. I was going to get off 2 miles back, he said, but I didn't think that tire looked good. Marilyn Atbury. Real life story number 6. My neighbors, Jay and Travia, have been the best since we moved in. When my husband got brain cancer, they helped me with yard work and snow removal. When Jim passed away, they were always helping me with anything they could: meals, yard work, snow removal, putting my trash can away when I would forget. They still continue to care for me, and if they don't see me outside for a while, they text to make sure I'm alright and not down or anything. I know I can always count on them to be there for me no matter what happens. Shelley Golay. Real life story number 7. A woman at our yard sale wore a perfume that smelled heavenly and familiar. "What are you wearing?" I asked. "White shoulders," she said. Suddenly I was bowled over by a flood of memories. White shoulders was the one gift I can count on at Christmas from my late mother. We chatted a while and she brought some things and left. A few hours later, she returned holding a new bottle of white shoulders. I don't recall which one of us started crying first. Media Stooksbury. Use your voice for kindness, your ears for compassion, your hands for charity, your mind for truth, and your heart for love. Discriminations hurt, compassion heals. Thank you for listening.